Are you having trouble drumming up engagement with your content and posts, or does it feel like with every algorithm change, your engagement goes down? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the principles of how to use your content to create massive engagement on whatever platform you choose. So definitely check it out. Welcome back to my channel, Empire Builders. And if you're new here, my name is Haley Dale, and I am a content strategist helping you create more purposeful, productive, and profitable content. So if that sounds like something you're looking for, make sure to click that subscribe button below for regular value-packed videos every single Monday. So this is the final video in the Ease Content Strategy Method series. So if you're curious about the other 3 types of content you should be focusing on, definitely go and check out my Ease Content Strategy Method playlist. Because in this video, we're going to be talking about the final type of content that rounds out the Ease Content Strategy Method, which is your engagement content. So how does engagement content fit into the Ease Content Strategy Method? We've truly been saving the best for last. Engagement is the most important type of thing that you could be doing as an online business, especially when there are so many options for us to work with in your area of expertise. So this is what makes the difference between me choosing you to work with versus somebody else. So your engagement content is the most important because it is all about how you are treating and nurturing the people who've already said yes to you. The people who've already joined your audience, have already opted in, and the people who are already showing up for you and your content. I see many entrepreneurs super focused on building their audience and list building to the complete detriment and exclusion of taking care of the people who've already said yes to them, who've already joined their community. And so one of the reasons that they're not seeing the results that they would like to is because they're not treating their existing people as well as they should. And so they have higher email list atrophy, meaning that subscribers become unengaged or unsubscribed at a much faster rate than somebody who is showing up really consistently and in an engaging way for those people who've already said yes, who already joined their email list and already in their communities. It's very possible for you to make great revenue with a small email list versus a huge email list that you barely show up for, and it all comes down to how you show up for your people. So are you showing up for your people? Kevin Kelly writes a great book, and he talks about the concept of 100 true fans. So I'm going to link that book down below in the description of this video. And it's all about realizing that as a successful content creator and online business, you don't need millions upon millions of customers or clients, right? So even if you've been striving to grow your audience, you only really need 1,000 diehard fans who will buy anything that you put out. Here's how the math works. So number one, you have to create enough each year on average that you can earn $100 profit from every true fan. Number two, you have to have a direct relationship with those fans, meaning that they pay you directly and you're engaging with them directly. So if you can keep the full $100 from each true fan, then you only need 1,000 of them to earn 100,000 every year, right? So even if your goals are bigger than that, it's a great perspective to help you realize that more isn't always needed, especially if you're making more than $100 from your sales. And so even if you're not starting at that 1,000 true fan level right now, can we start with just that one true fan that turns into those 10 true fans and then those 100 true fans? Everyone starts somewhere. The critical component in creating those true fans comes down to how you're staying in touch with them, your relationships and your interactions with them. And that comes down to this engagement piece of the Ease Content Strategy Method. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to choose that platform where you're going to be engaging with your people, and then how you can use it to start building up that true fan base and truly start engaging with your audience. Choose one platform for engagement. That is step number one. So our first step here is to choose the platform that you're going to be focusing on for your engagement efforts. We want to make sure that you're choosing one and only one, so it has to be the right one. We don't want to dilute your efforts by having you focus on 3 of them. It's better to go all in on one. So here are some things that you should maybe consider when making your decision. Number one, your people are there, meaning that you're not choosing a platform where your people wouldn't be caught dead dead on. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily go to TikTok to connect with 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, would you? Number 2, they're likely hanging out there. They like hanging out there. So we need to make sure that they're actually like having conversations and engaging on this platform. They're not just like dining and dashing and not spending any time there, just posting their content and leaving. So you want to prioritize community-centric platforms rather than traffic-building platforms. So if you want to check out my audience building and attraction content platform video, definitely check it out over here. For instance, you wouldn't necessarily find your people and have conversations with them on Pinterest. So it's probably not the best engagement platform. So depending on where your people are and their behaviors on those things, you want to take into account when deciding what platform you're going to focus on for your engagement efforts. And then finally, number 3, we need to make sure that it's something that you actually enjoy using, because engagement takes time, and to be engaging, you have to be engaged, right? It's an impossible thing to do if you hate every single minute that you spend on Instagram, if you've chosen Instagram for your one. This type of engagement strategy requires that you show up daily, ideally 30 to 60 minutes a day, every single day, or at least Monday to Friday, so that you can foster these relationships and have conversations, right? So if you choose something that you dread, well, that's going to feel pretty terrible to have to show up there. Some places to consider for your engagement platforms would be places where conversations go down. So Instagram, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, and anywhere else where there's more of a community element where people have dialogue. So my action step for you on this step is to choose one platform to focus on for engagement. The next step is I want you to schedule time to show up every single day. So this engagement part of your ease content strategy is going to take the most time, right, than any of the other 3 that we've talked about. Still, because one of the critical components of this method is that you're not trying to do everything anymore in every single platform, you're hopefully going to be having more time to dedicate to this engagement piece and end up spending less time anyways and feeling a lot less guilty about it. So that's going to help you get a lot further faster than if you were diluting all your efforts trying to keep up with everything. So we want to make sure you schedule some time regularly, and I recommend 30 to 60 minutes every single day. So you can schedule it first thing in the morning or in the afternoon. Think about how it fits into your schedule and your work patterns. For myself, I know that I like to schedule my engagement time in the afternoon after I've wrapped up all of my deep focus work on projects or client work. This is my treat at the end of the day to get and go and connect with people. So once you choose a time, I want you to go and add it to your calendar so it's a non-negotiable. The next thing is to prioritize conversations. So the key to an engagement platform is that you are having not just a one-way conversation. We are completely prioritizing two-way dialogue. Like they ask a question, you answer, you ask a question, right? So make sure to keep that conversation going. Make sure you're showing up live and engaging in real time, even more than you're scheduling out your content ahead of time. So if you've chosen Instagram as it, you're scheduling content, but you're also spending more time actually showing up live and participating in that platform. There are no shortcuts to this. I like to build an engagement checklist of the things I like to spend that 30 to 60 minute daily time so that I don't waste time. I can get to it pretty efficiently so that I can spend more of my time connecting and engaging than navigating different links. So on that list, I'll include things like be responsive. So I love that Pat Flynn calls it his handshake habit. So I like to do that by responding to any comments or messages I've received since my previous engagement session. Anytime someone adds a comment or DMs you or something like that, you want to make sure you're taking the time to respond to them in a timely manner. This tells them that they're not being ignored, that you value the conversation, and it helps them feel like you're actually there and they're engaging with a real person behind the brand. Next step is to be engaging. So I want you to start conversations by going to other people's accounts. Don't just hang out at your own party. Go to other people's parties, go to other people's profiles and start the conversation there. So maybe you're clicking over to a few of your followers' pages every day and asking them questions on their posts as well, as a way of building up that engagement and building that relationship. Next up is publish a piece of content. So included in my engagement step-by-step checklist, I also like to make sure that I am publishing a piece of content as well. It's not all about showing up live, but it's definitely more about that than this publishing piece, but it's still an important piece. So instead of this being a typical promotional post for a new webinar or a new product, you want to focus on asking questions and sharing behind the scenes and providing value. always with a question or a call to action that is going to spur discourse and engagement. Step number 3 is to define your metrics for success. So one of the first orders of business, once you've chosen the platform that you're going to focus on engaging, is I want you to establish your benchmarks. So go back and measure what's already working, what type of engagement you're already getting, right? Then as you focus on growing this platform and building up engagement on this particular platform, you're going to have a benchmark to measure against. I know that some of these metrics I mentioned are vanity metrics, like number of followers, meaning that they don't necessarily lead to results, but they can be good indications that you're moving in the right direction. Finally, the final step here is to create your 30-day engagement plan. So whenever you're starting something new, I think you should stick with it for at least 90 days before you know if it's going to work. But oftentimes within 30 days, you can have a pretty good indication that it is something that is at least moving in the right direction, that it is something you enjoy, it's something where people are having conversations back with you. I want you to commit for at minimum 30 days. You cannot go and change this before 30 days and you have to show up. Otherwise, you don't really know whether it works or not. So in that 30-day engagement action plan, I want you to include these 10 things. Number 1, what is the big goal that you're working on engagement-wise? So do you want to have X number of conversations? Do you want to have X number of DMs, right? So what are those things for you? What are the small wins that you're hoping to achieve within your 30-day period? What are your metrics of success? So what are the things that you're going to be measuring and monitoring regularly as your key indicators that you're moving in the right direction? What are the other things that you're also measuring or tracking that is going to give you a clue that you're also headed in the right direction? Number 5, what is your learning goal? Can you try to learn something new about this engagement platform every single week to understand it and use it and leverage it a bit better? What are your daily activities? What are your weekly activities? And then finally, what are your monthly activities or the things that you're going to try to do once within that initial 30-day period? Number 9, when are you going to do these activities? And I want you to make it real by scheduling it and going and putting it on your calendar. And then finally, number 10, who are 3 people or accounts who are really using that platform well? What can you learn from them? Can you reverse engineer a part of their success to hopefully see some similar results as well? So if you're ready to start engaging with your content, tell me which engagement platform you're going to focus on first in the comments. And if you want more videos like this one, I want you to click on the next video of your screen and make sure to subscribe for new videos every single Monday.